Alright, so right here we got the Velotric Summit 1, and I have managed to put 400 miles on this bike in the span of 3 weeks. Now, how is this bike holding up? It's holding up pretty well, actually. Everything is still stock. I still got the stock tires, stock brakes, everything is stock. All I did was added the kickstand on, an alarm, a bike lock, bottle holder, some mirrors, and my phone mount. So yeah, this bike has been holding up pretty well. I also put this on my shit. I did a lot of cable management. So yeah, I wrapped all this shit up. In my opinion, I think it looks better. It definitely wasn't necessary, but I like the look of it though. And I added some fucking wire loom on the shifter. Now, let's talk about this bike as I ride. Now, the reason I added mirrors to this bike was because I do ride in the road a lot, and it's nice to know what's coming behind me. I do have mirrors on both sides, the left and right. I mainly use the left one, and the right one is just for aesthetics. So I treat this bike more like a commuter bike than a mountain bike. I have taken this thing to work before. My work is about 18 miles, and I can legit kill the whole battery at 18 miles on this bike. That's because I just use the throttle a lot, because I use this more as a commuter bike than anything else. Hold on, let's go up here real quick. Now, I have had one issue with this bike, and that's with the motor overheating. You will get like an error code, E45 error code, and there's another error code. It's like, I think it's E45A. It's all relevant to the motor overheating. Now, the bike doesn't just turn off when it overheats. It just shows up an error code that the bike is overheating, and then it will still let you ride. You'll just notice like a lot of power is not being put down by the motor. So yeah, so I racked up 400 miles on this bike in like 3 weeks. Any upgrades I'm thinking of doing is probably just making these tires tubeless. As far as the derailleur back here, I had no issues with this derailleur. I'm not even going to upgrade it. I'll probably just keep it how it is. So yeah, the only upgrade I'm probably going to do is make this tubeless. I've seen people replace the forks on this bike. I don't find it necessary because I don't plan on beating this bike up, like, you know, doing jumps and shit. That's just not how I ride. Maybe if I get more into mountain biking versus commuting, I'll probably start beating this bike up. Now, the reason I went with this bike for commuting over a lot of other bikes, like the Aventon Level 2, is because this bike is better than the Aventon Level 2 in any way possible. They're around the same price point too, but this was just a better option for me. It's faster than the Level 2. In my opinion, I think it looks better than the Level 2. Also, it comes with no fenders and no racks, which I wanted. Now, I know most people who commute in want fenders and racks, but I personally don't want those. I can eventually buy fenders, but it's summertime, so I'm just going to leave those fenders off. Plus, I like to take this bike on off-roading courses too. Now, the bike I am coming from right now is the Aventon Level 2, and I ended up returning that bike because I ran into this error code issue. It kept stating that the bike was overheating. I kept getting this error code E21, like just back to back. It was very annoying. It was so weird because even when it wasn't hot outside, I would still get this error code. And once that error code comes up, the bike basically just shuts off, which was very annoying. Even like if you like go up a bump or engage the throttle or start pedaling, the fucking error code would just pop up, and it was really annoying. So I got tired of dealing with it, and I just took it back to Best Buy. They did not charge me a restocking fee, surprisingly. I thought they was, but since I stated I had an issue with that bike, they did not charge me a restocking fee, which was nice. So after that, I just ordered this bike, and so far I've been liking it. Like I said, the only issue I had with this bike was the overheating motor, but the bike doesn't turn off on you. It doesn't do any of that. You can just, you know, give it a few minutes to cool down. Other than that, This bike is holding up pretty well. I have taken this bike off-road a couple of times. It is very nice to ride off-road. Yeah, it's a hardtail bike, but not sure if I want full suspension. I mostly just stand anyway. Plus, I know if you get full suspension, if you start to pedal, your rear suspension will, take some of that power away from you. So I'm completely fine using a hardtail bike. Plus, I am not doing anything insane like jumps or anything like that. My favorite thing about this bike is definitely the throttle, because it allows you to go over 20. That's exactly how I kill my battery so fast, is because I use the throttle all the time. All the time. Like, this bike almost feels like a Suron, just how I use the throttle so much, but this bike doesn't have that crazy acceleration though. Let's go left, actually. I am happy with this bike, man. Like 400 miles later, I'm happy with this bike. I do not regret buying this. Like ever since I bought this bike, I stopped looking at bikes. Like I stopped watching bike reviews and shit, because I'm happy with this bike. If there were some things I could change about this bike, honestly, maybe just make it, accelerate quicker, but honestly, this is good enough for me. This turn, I always stop. Yeah, that one's coming. Yeah, I do enjoy this bike a lot, man. Trying to think. I also had to change out the hand grips so I can add in my mirrors. With the original hand grips, there's like a blockage point where you can't insert anything into the handlebars. So I had to replace the grips. I bought these grips from Amazon. They're only like $6. I wasn't really going to splurge on handle grips. I just wanted to add my mirrors onto my bike. Now, some may say riding with mirrors look goofy as hell, but like, I love being able to see what's behind me without having to fully turn around all the time, That gets annoying. Plus, like I said, I ride on the road a lot more than I ride on paths. I think that's about it, all I need to talk about. Today's video didn't originally go as planned because I did not bring the other piece of my camera. So I have to use my action camera to film this video, unfortunately. Plus, it looks like it's about to start to rain, and the camera I was originally going to use is not waterproof in any way. So yeah, I like this bike a lot. I like everything about this bike. I am coming from an Invention Level 2. So everything that the Invention Level 2 has, this bike has better. Better motor, better suspension. You also get 3 mounting points, so I mounted my lock here, bottle cage here, and then there's another mounting point up there, but I don't know what the hell I'm going to put there. This bike does come with Apple Find Mines, but mine's kind of shitted out on the first day, so I got my own GPS tracker on this bike. Apple Find Mine on this bike is unreliable, so I wouldn't buy this bike just because it has Apple Find Mine. So, yeah, I think that's about it for what I'm talking about. I don't have much to talk about, man. The headlight on this bike is decent, but I usually just mount a headlight on my helmet anyway, so it's not all that important. The brakes on this bike feels good. Had no issues with that. The derailleur was one of the first things I looked out for on this bike because my Invention Level 2 on day 1 had derailleur issues. This bike, I have very minor derailleur issues. It will just randomly skip a gear here and there, but it's rare, so I probably won't deal with that until it gets worse. Can I go through here? Is anything through here? Ever since I got this bike, I'm more adventurous with it. Like, I'll just find a path and just go for it. whereas the level 2 is not really built for that. So that's why I keep comparing it to the level 2, because that was my previous e-bike before I returned it. And I like this e-bike, man. I'm not sure if these tires will fit on a bus. These are like 2.5 inch, I think, or something like that. So I'm not sure if this will fit on a bus. I have not taken this bike anywhere else but where I'm from. So I'll probably put this on a train and see if I can ride with this on a train. Now this bike is like 62 pounds. I know I'm Amtrak, the weight limit is 50 pounds, but if I take the battery out, that's like 9 pounds right there I just got rid of. So maybe I could get away with this on Amtrak. Oh yeah, about the battery. I need to buy a second battery because I kill this battery a lot. How many miles I went today so far? I went 2.5 miles and I'm already at 88%. That's because I'm just using the throttle. Max range on throttle I have gotten was 20 miles. Just 20 miles of throttle only. I took this bike to like Target to go pick up something and I just used the throttle the whole time. I used about 45% getting there and the other 50% getting back. Like I was in the single digits on the way back. So you can definitely kill this bike. This throttle is just very addicting, bro. I like it a lot, man. It makes me want to buy a Sur-Ron eventually, or maybe a mountain bike that looks like this, but faster. But I am completely satisfied with my purchase. I feel like $2,000 is well spent on this bike. I really couldn't find nothing else better for $2K, man. The torque sensor feels nice. The 750 watt motor feels nice. It peaks out at like 1300 watts. Like this bike feels nice. All right, make sure no one's coming because last time I was there, someone blew a stop sign. So yeah, man, I like this bike. Completely satisfied. Now this bike does top out at 32 miles per hour, whether you're pedaling or using the throttle. I haven't found a way to remove that hard limit, but it just tops out at 32 miles per hour, whether you're pedaling or using the throttle. I know it can definitely go faster than that. Like once you hit 32, it just starts to cut power. So it is what it is. All right, we're gonna go down this like steep ass hill real quick, and let's see how fast we can get this bike up to. So yeah, this bike is cutting power at 32 right now. All right, here is a nice downhill. No way in hell I hit 37, bro. No fucking way I hit 37 going downhill. This bike feels stable going fast like that, man. I just wish it can go fast like that all the time. But anyway, that is the end of this video. I will do another update once I hit 500 miles, which will probably be like in another week or so. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.